This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a great one on tap between the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Chargers. With that, let's get out to Southern California with the call from Los Angeles. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, football, of course, back in L.A. and back at StubHub Center in Carson, California. The scene here in Carson a moment ago, both teams making their way out of the tunnel. Phillip Rivers, now the main man here in L.A., as his Chargers will match up with the Seattle Seahawks. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Godden. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. With me, as always, Charles Davis. And, Charles, we look at a matchup like this. It's really the running backs that may take center stage here today.
And in today's football, they're still valuable, not just as runners, but guys who can catch the ball as well. It's really the number of touches that determines things these days.
Here's Desmond King on the return. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. So here's the Charger offense making their way out. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback out of NC State. It's Phillip Rivers.
One way you become the all-time leading passer for your team is pure talent, and Phillip Rivers has plenty of that. But there's also dedication to your craft and the willingness to get better all the time. Phillip Rivers has a van set up with a driver so that when he goes to and from practice, he's able to watch tape and find ways to improve his mechanics each and every day.
A first down throw here for Rivers. This is Gordon on the dump off. Takes this up just short of the 30, but he was able to avoid that earlier tackle. Nice move. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll be a second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Here's Rivers. He's airing it out. He's got a man. Complete. Touchdown, LA. A big play there. 72 yards. And the Chargers have taken a first-quarter lead. Not a bad way to start it.
And I think that was part of their script, because so many teams script their opening possessions, and whether it's just that possession or even deeper into the half, sometimes it's 15 to 30 plays. That had to be one in there where they call a shot play. Go for the big one, and they got it done.
Caleb Sturgis now for the point after. Sturgis adds the PAT, and it's now a 7-0 game. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Sturgis out now to kick this one off. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
Gave the commencement address at the University of Wisconsin a couple of years ago. One of the most popular players ever to pull on the uniform there. At the beginning of his career, he was a so-called game manager. Take care of the football and rely on the defense. Now, in this stage of his career, the offense runs through him, and it runs very well.
Now it's Wilson. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. Joey Bosa in there to get him for a loss of 5.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
Got assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. A first carry for the converted wideout, J.D. McKissick. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Okay, even just being nice, the last 2 plays were not very good offensively. So if you're the play caller, was it the team's execution or was it strategy? If it was execution, you continue to call the game the way you're calling it. But if it's strategy, change up what you're doing and figure it out.
Third and long, it's Wilson. Wide open, it's Marshall, complete. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. They get 15, but they still needed a little bit more. 4th down. 1 quarter down. 7-0 is our score. We'll come back to Southern California after this. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Travis Benjamin deep for the Chargers. That's taken on the 25. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. Phillip Rivers now gears up to lead the offense on the field. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the 2nd quarter. And this one complete to Virgil Green. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 18 big yards on that one, and a Charger first.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
On 1st and 10, Rivers. Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked, but instead they'll keep it on 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On 2nd down, Rivers again. He's going to look for Allen now on the deep. And this is caught inside the 5. And all the way in for a Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen, 42 yards. And the Chargers are going to add on to their lead. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches, and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. But sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. Hey, that's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long, man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Point after now from Sturgis. Sturgis for the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Sturgis out now to kick this one off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Wilson. Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. Joey Bosa in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
It'll be a gain of 7, but I'd imagine we'll see the punt team here on 4th down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll punt it away for the second time. Final play of the half, Rivers. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has certainly been one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference as the teams have already come back out onto the field for the second half. So let's get you back out as well to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. On second down, here's Penny. And he'll get about 6 up to the 27-yard line.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
From the gun on third down, Wilson. And this is going to be incomplete. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you think you can take the spirit away from another team, with their drive and will to come.
This is caught at the 20. Touchdown, LA! Tyrell Williams, 57 yards. And the Chargers find a way to stretch their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast, game the second half, no matter what, whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever, this was a big score to start the second half.
Sturgis adds the PAT, and it's now 21-0. Sturgis out now to kick this one off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field.
The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated?
Looking for Baldwin, intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1 play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1 play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was really easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. Rivers incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10. Now Rivers going to give it off to Gordon. Oh, the spin. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And now running right through it. Back now at the StubHub Center in Carson. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Now Gordon on first down. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Throwing here, Rivers. Got a man, it's Allen for the Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Chargers are going to add on to their lead.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Sturgis for the extra point, and that makes the score 28-0. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it ends with the Chargers getting into the end zone. Sturgis out now to kick this one off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. And before they can run this third down play, we're going to get a timeout, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Charger TD. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them into the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Now Sturgis on to add the extra point. Sturgis adds the PAT, and that will extend this big lead. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Back to the air, Wilson after the pick 6. His throw incomplete. He was going for the tight end, Nick Vanette. That'll bring up 2nd down.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. The Seahawks on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. From the gun, it's Wilson. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. Joey Bosa getting him once again. His 3rd sack of the afternoon.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And some room to maneuver. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Chargers will get the football back in excellent field position. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Rivers to throw it. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Charger first. Rivers now 5 straight completions here in this 2nd half. 1st and 10. The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column too.
So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. From Southern California, so long, everybody.